Good morning. This is Sri Primo with the NFL. We're back to the NFL. We took a 3 to 4 day hiatus, but I'm back trying to wrap up the NFL series for doing a team by team review. We will pivot our day to San Francisco 49ers. We'll do it kind of like a two a day kind of thing. So I'll do one right now and then one later in the day after in the evening. Let's quickly go down to the NFC West. So let's go to the order at which they all finished last to first. San Francisco 49ers, who were in Super Bowl just a couple of years ago, um, they finished last in the division. They had Brock Purdy, and they've been a very strong team, consistent. Kyle Shanahan, their head coach. But one thing, what happened for San Francisco last year was they had a very rare down year. They finished 6-11, placed last in the NFC West, and that's quite remarkable considering that they had made the playoffs the last 3 years, which included two Super Bowl runs. A lot of things could be attributed to one, injuries, two inconsistencies on both sides of the ball. While Brock Purdy did throw for 4,000 yards, one thing that every quarterback dreads is the turnovers. And he definitely got that turnover bug. And I didn't have, plus, with a lot of the injuries, like I mentioned, the supporting cast was quite hurt. On the defensive, which they used to be one of the best in the league, they ranked at the bottom half of the league in terms of points allowed also. One bright spot that came for San Francisco was the fact that they had some very good individual performances from Kittle and Deebo Samuel, who actually combined for more than 2,000 yards. But the problem was that injuries and other inconsistencies on both offense and defense cost them. So let's see what they did. They were off-season moves, and one big thing that they did was they locked up Brock Purdy with a huge long-term extension. Now, for someone called as Mr. Irrelevant, last pick in the draft, this is a great story in the NFL to make sure that one thing in the NFL that you need is a solid play at the quarterback. Purdy has now shown that he can play well. I mean, of course, turnovers are going to be a problem, but I do think that by signing him, they're locking their future for good with a head coach like Kyle Shanahan and rebuilding the supporting cast. I think it bodes well for them. Um, they also extended their cornerbacks, Lenore, to a 5 year deal. So, in the other thing, the major, I would say, departure from San Francisco was that they traded their wide receiver Deebo Samuel to the Washington Commanders for a fifth round draft pick in 25. So while they shed his contract, they probably picked up a lot of draft capital. So let's see what that happens. So they did sign a few people. They signed cornerback Trey Brown and the Patriots first round draft pick Mac Jones, but that's more like a insurance policy. On the defensive side, they did sign some of their linemen as well. But as I mentioned, they lost even on the defensive side. They lost Greenlaw, who's been a staple of that defense as well. So one thing is that they moved away from a lot of the veterans. They prioritized youth. Uh, they've they've also added some star power for depth. So when you look at what they did in the draft, let's quickly go down to the draft. They did address a lot of things that was a Achilles heel for them in the last season, which was the defense. So they did go heavy on defense, and they had 11 picks after all the trades. So they picked up a lot of the defensive edge, Mikael Williams from Georgia, edge rusher, but and then he could be a potential immediate starter. And then they went and signed a defensive tackle from Texas, both SEC schools, the first two. And they went to a linebacker with Nick Martin. So the way you look at it is that they went and picked up a lot of the defensive to get their help. Now, one thing that's going to be very interesting to see is that how are they going to replace Debo Samuel, the I would call him the Swiss Army knife in the NFL, that he can play any position he wants on the offensive side. I do think that this is a good year for them. What's their outlook? They've finished 6-11. They have probably the easiest strength of schedule in the NFL, and then they have some easy games to start off. So when I think about what they have one. We all knew about Purdy's efficiency from a passing game. Obviously, they picked up Christian McCaffrey from Panthers a couple of years ago, who's been one of the best running backs in the league. You got the scheme that's going to be a great scheme from Shanahan, which looks for potential mismatches on the defense. The defensive line that they have shored up, again, they hopefully could bring them into the top 10 stuff. The one thing would be like, would they regress not having Debo Samuel? Of course, George Kittle, as a good player he is, getting older. So I mean, I would see a 6-11 to almost like a 4 game swing, like a 10-7 maybe, maybe a wild card, maybe a division, because in that division you can easily win it with like 11-6 or even 10-7. Um, if their defense holds up, and if Purdy kind of limits a lot of the mistakes, I do definitely see good things for San Francisco 49ers this season. Say they could potentially go from last to first, because when I think about, we'll get to all the other teams in the division during this series, but I feel that 49ers are bound for rebound. They are one of the best teams. I mean, they every team could have a down year, but in a, a team that's coached by Kyle Shanahan, solid quarterback play, uh, and good veterans, and also good youth in the defense. I would I could look for them to rebound and get to a 10-7. And of course, they'll make the playoffs. So that's where I'm seeing the 49ers finishing. We'll get to all the other teams. Like we'll do the Cardinals, Seahawks, and Rams in the So thanks for listening. Please subscribe to Primo's Musings on all streaming channels and have a good rest of the day.